שלום. אלקים is called הדברים. סדר בסטארט זה מיימר טוב שחפחס, מיימר טוב שחפטס. all starts with the same drama. This maimer this maimer focuses.
You like to be the by your shiur?
What advantage happened by the Eden B'shas Matan Torah, and what advantage happened to the Torah B'shas Matan Torah, what advantage in the Eibishter B'shas Matan Torah. The Neis Torah, the Mekable Torah, and the Etzem Torah. In all three there is an advantage. He starts off with other Inyanim, but he's going to come to this is where he's headed. You do a deep much because of Leimer, it's known as deep why it says Leimer, the deep is the opposite of today. Since that all the Jewish people, all the Neshoms from all generations, everyone was in the Ma'amad Arsina and they heard the Dibus and the Eibush himself. What does it mean? To say to say to others. There's no others to tell it to. This is here. Is not just an extra word which we don't understand. The contrary is that tells the whole Kiddush of Matan Torah. Before Matan they also learned the whole Torah. It's understood from the fact that we find that Avraham Avinu was Mekayim the whole Torah before it was given. So in order to be Mekayim the Torah you have to learn it. And certainly Avraham taught the Torah to his son Yitzchak. Yitzchak bring to Yaakov Rabban. Yitzchak taught it to Yaakov and his children. So what's the Chiddush of Matan Torah? That we have the Torah. They had already the Torah before the giving of the Torah. Before Matan Torah, they learned the whole Torah already. They were Mekayim the Torah. What's the Chiddush of Matan Torah? What's the Chiddush of giving of the Torah? So the Pasuk explains that Elkim is called that this, the Chiddush, the nuance, the how do you say Chiddush in English? The novelty of the Elkim is called the fact that the Eibush said the whole Torah by Matan Torah is this power that every single Jew in all generations shall limit our Torah, shall you from the limit. His learning Torah should be in a way of limit. What's the pshat in this? That his learning should be in a way of limit. Is that the Rebbe Shnei Pirushim was that. And this is go for there's two Pirushim. So we'll see there's three Pirushim, but this that his learning should be in a way of limit. He says there's two Pirushim. One is shadei limit our Torah, shall you get him shakash baruch yimid the Burim. One is that through his learning Torah he causes that the Eibush should say these words. Kol hakedah v'sheina kosh baruch kedah v'sheina kenegdei. The person learns Torah. The Eibush is learning also kenegdei. According to this, the meaning of lame to say to others is that the person learning Torah is telling the Eibush to Kiviyachol that he should repeat on what he's saying. That's this Pirush. Hey, another Pirush is Shalim that Torah shall Adam Yibei from the Lamer, that the learning Torah of the person should be in a way of Lamer. Not that he's telling the Eibush to Lamer say over what I'm saying, rather he should say in a way of Lamer, which means to say over the words which the Eibush is saying. My tongue is answering your words, which means the Eibush is speaking, and I'm saying over what the Eibush is saying. The words of Torah that the person is saying. This is your words. And my tongue is answering after you. I'm saying after the Eibush. I'm saying it. In other words, that every time I learn, the Eibush is saying these words.
So what's the difference exactly?
What's the two Pirushim? First Pirush is that he's causing the Eibush to say it. No. Second Pirush is he's saying it after the Eibush. He's only a puppet, like a... I'm saying it after the Eibush. I don't have some saying of myself. Everything I say is only from the Eibush. This is the difference. The Rebbe says in the order 13, he says that also according to this pshat that the person said, he says, order 13, you see it? Even if you say that the person is saying after the Eibush, they're moving the Zeh Shakadosh Baruch Hu Advarim Achshav, not that they live in the Adam. This itself is also happening because the person is learning. If the person wouldn't be learning, the Eibishter wouldn't say it then. But the meaning of the word lamed is, who's the lamer, is the stress on that the Eibishter should say it, or I should say it after the Eibishter says it. Even though I'm causing the Eibishter to say it now, but now I'm saying it after the Eibishter. How's it work in time? No hashayla. Anyways, we'll leave it for that. So this is the two taichin and lamer. Whether I say it after the Eibishter, I'm causing the Eibishter to say it. This is two taichin in the word lamer that I'm saying, that I'm causing the Eibishter that learning the Torah should be in a way of lamer. The 8th pirush Vidaber lamer. This is the 3rd pirush of Vidaber lamer. Vidaber the Kim was called the Meila. The Eibishter spoke all these 10 words. Aser Sadibish and calls called Torah. These Aser Sadibish. This is the whole Torah. It includes the whole Torah, like it says in all the Maimorim. That's the cloud of the whole Torah. Why did the Eibishter say Aser Sadvorim? Who lamer is in order that lamer. What's that lamer? Aser Sadibish Torah Shalom Eilam Eilam. Torah, which is higher than the world, should come down into Asar Mamoris, which they created the world. Just Lahoyer in Tanya, he says in Tanya, he says, how did the Eibishter create the world, Asar Mamoris? Asar Mamoris Shabbat Torah. But here he says that the Torah should be Nimshach in Asar Mamoris. Just Lahoyer. That is, believing that Torah the Odom, so too, when the person's learning Torah, should be even the Vidaber Lamer, that it should be in a way, Vidaber Lamer should be Dibra Torah Shalei, Nasa Amira. That from his learning Torah should be an Amira, Avshach Sashpol Mata. He should have an effect on this world. He should have an impact on the world. He should change the world. Like he's going to say later in the Maimon. So, we have to understand what's the connection of all these above mentioned things in Lamer. Whether I'm causing the Eibishter should say it, whether I'm saying after the Eibishter, whether I'm bringing Avshach Mata through my learning Torah. What's the connection of all these 3 pirushim and lamer? Since they're all pirushim in the same word, so there has to have a connection. What's the connection? That's the question that we have to remember behind the back of our head. Because now the whole mind is going to go to other things now. In the Maimar of the Reb Marash, this beginning, which was said 100 years ago, before the Rebbe said the Maimar Chavtes, after he brings the question that seemingly the word lamer is extra, because to whom is the Eibishter saying lamer? We should say it if everyone was there. Maybe Mashakosa B'Yalkut, he brings what it says in the Yalkut. When the Eibishter was speaking the words of the Torah, everyone said the Eibishter is speaking with me. That was the feeling that everyone had. He didn't say so everyone felt that it's this personal connection to. This is also the it says in the answer that the whites not tiny, that the people that the ACA could have said that the Eibishter wasn't speaking to them. It was they didn't say to everybody. But over here the Rebbe says forget the word that everyone felt that he spoke to them individually. He explains that this is all what it says in the Medrash. That the voice that they heard in Aser Sadibus was according to the power of each person. The Bochrim heard according to their power, according to what they could accept. And the elders according to what they could accept. According to what they could accept. So what's the same? The reason why the Marash has to also bring the saying of the Medrash, saying that the Eibishter spoke to each one individually is enough to bring out this point. Why do you have to bring out that everyone had according to their keich? Because according to this is understood that the concept of imi, that the Eibishter is speaking with me, every one individually, it's not only in regard to the neshama, but it's also in regard to the body. What makes the difference of a bocher and a cotton? Only in regard to the guf. The neshama doesn't change. The neshama stays with the whole takeif, and the whole measure chayiv. It says also even that why the shir by Yom Kippur is kiseves is because it's the same amount of food could give life to the cotton ben yemei, to be mechayim nefesh of cotton ben yemei, and it could be mechayim egg malach habosh. The same amount of food. You don't, because the nefesh mekabel chayis from the same amount of food. The nefesh is not the etzba nefesh bite is equal by everybody. So
what do you mean the amount of food?
The amount of food kiseves. For what's the Easter food kiseves by Yom Kippur?
Oh.
This is every tarayah from them. A mer from them is. The Gemara says that by when you eat this amount of food, it's miyasav daite. Miyasav daite. So the Gemara says that more than that, if you have more than that amount, be miyasav daite tfei. Less than, but if without that amount, it's not b'chal, not miyasav daite. And he says miyasav daite by everyone equal. That's what the Easter of kiseves is by everyone equal. I don't know why I'm bringing that out. It's time to just remind myself over here. It brings over here that the neshama is almo gleich. It's almo gleich. Var b'maymer that time as a shadibra ser shadibra so even the Vidber explains the maymer, the reason for the fact that they speak of the 10 of the ser shadibra was the way of that everyone felt that the Eibush is speaking with them individually. In an individual way, to everyone's in the singular. Although that all the commandments of the Torah is to every single yid, but still in the whole Torah it says he explains this. According to what it says in Yalkut over there, the B'shas gave the Torah, he put his name together with every yid. Every yid should have the Eibusher's name within him. It says in the pasuk Rechav Alakim Ribisayim Alpha Shinon, I think it says, and the Bom Sina Bakedesh. The Eibusher came down with the chariots with the Malachim, with 18,000 Malachim. Ribisayim Alpha Shinon, Ribisayim is 20,000. Alpha Shinon minus 2,000, and the Bom Sina Bakedesh. So he says, what's the pasuk teach us also? Just like Adne Bom by Malach, just like the Eibusher was in them, in the Malachim which he came down, he was in them. The name of every Malach is in the end of the name of the Malach. Has the name of the Eibusher, Keil, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael. So too came Matan Teres Sina Bakedesh. So too by Matan Teres Shita V'Kosh Baruch Shmei B'Chol Havachem Yisrael Nechav Elkecha. So just like by every Malach has the name of the Eibusher within him, Chol, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, whatever, all the Malachim has the Eibusher's name within him. So too by Matan Teres, the Eibusher put his name in every single yid. The Eibusher says, "I'm God, you're God." Through the fact that the Eibusher puts his name into the Malachim, they become bottled to the Eibusher's name, which is Meshutaf in them, which takes part in it becomes part and parcel of their mitzvahs. So too, can make Yisrael. So too, by the Yidden, the Shittif Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shmei Yisrael, through the fact that the Eibusher put his name in the Yidden, hey bebit, they become bottled. That's what it says in the Maimer. This is, in other words, he's saying when Yidden felt, when the Eibusher said that I'm speaking to you individually, we made a bittul in the Yidden. And this explains, according to this Maimer HaMedrash, this Yalkut, that the Eibusher put his name into every Yid. That's the individuality that they had, that they felt a bittul to the Eibusher.
Adne Bom is Malachim?
Adne Bom is the Malachim, I think. He says here, Adne Bom. He says Adne Bom. K'meisha Adne Bom ba Malachim. Just like the Adne Bom the Malachim, Sina Bakedesh, but the Eibusher by Mar Sinai, he put his name in every Yid also. Just by the Malachim, we see that the Eibusher's name is there. It's obvious that the Eibusher's name is there. The Eibusher said, is the Eibusher. What does that mean? That he's bottled to the Eibusher, that he has no existence without the Eibusher. Everything is bottled to the Eibusher, but here I guess it's the fact that it's nirgish, that they feel that bit. Although
what is the word? Like you're saying, Adna. What?
Adna Bom. It's the Eibusher's name.
Like
Aleph Dal Nun Yud.
okay. What's the Bom?
Bom in them in the Malachim. In the Malachim. And the Eibusher's name, the Eibusher came with down chariots. Elkim Rebbesaim Alpha Shin Adna Bom. And the Eibusher's in them. So to Sina Bakedesh, she says in the Miyalkot is mamtik. That's so too that the Eibusher came and gave his name into the Yidden. Now the Rebbe says, "V'hinei shmei shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheshitut b'Yisrael." The name of the Eibush that he put in the Yidden, Ulamayli Yesem Shmei Shemashut b'Malachim, is higher than the name of the Eibush that's one with the Malachim. Why? The Malachim see Adnebam, because the Malachim says only Adnebam, only the level of Adnebam. Kabur, but Tanya, like it's explained in Tanya, Shemalachim, the Krayim Shem Elekim. Malachim are called Elekim. The Elekim by Adnebam, Mechol Sinyanechem. Which in general is one Indian. It shows the Eibush is a source for the world. Adne is the way out Adnebam Chol B'ri Yisecha, a master to the universe, the master to the creations. And Elekim is also the way the Eibush hides himself and leaves a place for the world. By Yisrael it says that the Yidden are a part of Shem Havaya. Chelik from Shem Havaya. What should you say for the Ma'ariv though?
No, don't worry.
No.
Shouldn't be worried.
That's okay.
I'm not going to be worried. Although that the Yidden of Chelik Havaya was also before Matan Torah, so what's the Chiddush? By the Yidden is Chelik. So he says firstly, he says there's a Ma'il in Yidden over Malachim. The Malachim are only a Shaykh to Shem Elekim and Shem Adne. Shem Yidden are Shaykh to Chelik Shem Havaya. Even though this was also before Matan Torah, also the Yidden were a part of Shem Havaya. This is what a Yid is before. But the B'chei Yisrael was before Matan Torah. Lo Yeheir is a Begili Kol Kach, but it didn't shine as much. Why? In Chelik Havaya Ami Umitzad Neshama. In Chelik Havaya Ami Umitzad Neshama. Neshama is Chelik Havaya. Neshama is Bon Matan Havaya Lekeichen. But we didn't say Neshama Lamato. When Neshama comes down here, Aguf Ma'al Master Al Neshama Moshe Havaya Shabo. When Neshama comes down here, the Guf hides over the Neshama and Neshama Havaya, which is in it, and therefore there's a Hester on this connection, on this bittul that he has to the Eibishter. But the Eibishter is saying on this connection to the Eibishter revealed itself even in the body. Like it says in Mokut Teira, what is the meaning of Neicha Vayel Lekecho? Shabai Yemir Mizgalam Kol Kach Yinikra Shmecha Lekecho. That Avai should shine and reveal himself to you so much so that it should be called your name. It should be yours. It should be your energy. Your Avai. Your Lekecho. Your Kechach Chayuscha. Kechal Avai Lekecho. Who gives the energy that it should be Avai? Should talk about Lekecho. My kech, my energy should be Avai. Shagam Nachar Shem Neshama Mislabesh Beguf. Even after the Neshama comes into the body, Avai Bibigil Levachi Nikal Shmei. Avai should be revealed. Till should be called his name. That means that should be his life. That should be who he is. This comes from who me atzmus himself. Shalom Lagami Avai. This is from atzmus himself, which is higher than the Avai. Shem Avai said atzmei Zavai on its own. Agilish leil lamayla dafki. Its relation is only lamayla. Only when the Neshama is lamayla. But they should be gil lamata b'guf gashmi in order that it should be revealed. Even when the Neshama comes down here in a physical body, or the Amshach atzmus himself. Shalom Avai is only through the Amshach of the essence of the Ein Sof, which is higher than Avaya. Why? So he explains the Cholagavei Yeser Yer, the Mizgal Lamata Yeser. The higher you are, the more you understand, the deeper you understand something, the lower you can explain it, the lower you can bring it down. If you understand something in a certain level, so then you're locked into that level. That's how much you can explain it. You can't explain it to a small child, but if you know it, the essence of the thing, there's no level where you can't bring it down. You can bring it down even to a child. There's many different Mishalim and Chassidus that are brought down that the highest of the thing, what higher the thing is, the lower it comes down. Like you have a full barrel of wine, that only then it overflows and goes comes down. It comes out of the barrel, or the mashal that gives the Chassidus another mashal from Ashpa'atzmis.
The Evan.
From the Evan, what's the top of the wall falls further away. Then there's the mashal from the Ashpa Atzmis, that the Ashpa from the Ashpa Saseichel is Or Levad. But if you want to have Ashpa Atzmis, that the child should have the Kech HaSeichel, comes after the Yin Gashmi. Kol HaGavei Yeser, Yer Mizgal Lamati Yeser. So, Anei Chavai Lekecho, this is why it says Anei Chavai Lekecho. It could have said Avai Lekecho, but it says Anei Chavai Lekecho, Shakech HaZeh Shavai Lekecho, because the power for this, that Avai should become a Lekecho, who is from the level of a neich, which is even higher than Avaya. Yishleimar says that Abdikim Sheshmei Shel Kadosh Baruch Hu Shishitut BiYisrael Shem Avaya Shalom Ma'ila Mishem Ad Shem Shul B'Malachim since the name of the Eibishter which he put in the Yid is Shem Havai, which is higher than Shem Adam, which is in the Malachim, that's one advantage. Especially the second advantage that the source for this, that he could put his name in the Yid. Even the body, even the Malachim don't have this problem because they're in the Lamaila. But the Yid has an issue that he comes into a goof, he has a goof which is Malam Master, should be misgal on him, even then the Yin of Shmei Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes from a Nech which is higher than Havai. So he said, therefore, so he says that causes Lachein, Gam HaBitl Yisrael Shnai Sed Shmei Baruch HaMashuta Behem, Ubitl God Yesim, Ubitl HaMalach. This is not just a side reason. It's because we have to have the Havai Shabin is Gal in the Gufa Hodom. Even though he has a Gufa, he still have a revelation of Havai. Therefore, he needs to come to the Keich of Atzmus and so of a Nechi. So therefore, he needs a Nechi. So he says, no, this is going to cause a deeper bittul. Because since he's connected to a higher level than the Eibishter, so there, and that's what's making him connected to Havaya. Therefore, the bittul in the Yidden that happens through the Eibishter putting his name in the Yidden is a much greater bittul than the Malach.
It's hard to understand.
It's hard to understand for many reasons. One reason is, but I'll tell you, it says, who elevates the davening from a Yid, the Malach. They're hugging and they're kissing the words of the Yid, and that brings them up to make they make a crowd from the Yid's davening. On the other hand, it says that a Malach would find himself in the presence of 10 Jews. 10 Yidden come together, not even to learning and davening. He would be in his battle again because Hashas Shechina. So how does these two things work together? So Tzadecho, the Yid, there's no Hecher Yid. Tzadsheni.
You need a malachim.
Well, you need the malachim, yeah. The Rebbe asks this sort of thing. It's not my question. The Rebbe asks this question, but over here it brings out who a Yid is and a Yid is. We should know who we're dealing with. If we tap into this keich that we have, it would be greater than the malach. He says he tells us what's Matan Torah. This is what's Matan Torah. This. Who feels the schiluk Matan Torah? We feel more connected. We feel more that when we say dibur of the Torah, we feel that the Eibishter is saying it after us, or we're saying it after the Eibishter, or we're bringing Hashpah Lamata. Do we feel these things? Lamer.
Kol Morer HaKavana.
But do we feel this? I don't know. Maybe you. I'm not speaking about you. I'm speaking about Anoshim Kekena. Do we feel this difference that when we're learning, we got a Nechavai Lekecho, we got Atzmus Ein Sof. But the more we learn about it, Torah enlightens us, tells us really this is what's really happening. This is what's really happening. This is really engaging us. That's an Al Tarab in Tanya, in Torah, he speaks over there that when we learn Torah, the Eibshter says it over. He says that that's what answers. How could it be Malahal Beim Avir Beres of Zeh Afkan Beim Avir Beres of Zeh? Here I'm learning myself, and there's the Eibshter gave the Torah Kedel broken and everything. He says, but the Eibshter saying it over after you, so Mameli you could be, you know the man, fine. We get weiter, we get. One more seat?
One more
One
seat.
more
We
seat.
have to do at least one more, or else the whole Binyan Meyer didn't have to go.
Okay, so we'll do one more seat. What is the Shem Havai which is in every Jew? Explains in the Maimer, Shayud Shem Havai Shem Yisrael, he HaChochma Shem Nefesh. The Yud of Shem Havai which is in every Yid is Chochma Shem Nefesh. That's the bittul that he has to the Eibishter, that he has a bittul to the Eibishter. That's that's Yud, the Chochma Shem Nefesh. V'heit Shem Havai hu ha-bina Shem Nefesh. Hey of Shem Havai is bina Shem Nefesh. That's the understanding that it could grasp the Eibishter, it could understand the Eibishter. Chochma is higher than understanding. It's a mocker for understanding, but it's higher. It's higher than Tfis Vasoga. That, like it says in Tanya. Bina is lahavin dover mitech dover. What's that? Lahavin dover mitech dover. So now he's going to teach a whole teaching lahavin dover mitech dover to understand something from something else. So it's not so posh. Teich dover who? What's the teich dover who? Advara vaishim slavish teich anivroi. Teich dover, this thing which is inside, is the dvaravai which is enclosed in the creations. Kipir Shabal Shem Tov al Pasuk le'mavayit v'orch nitzah b'shamayim, like the Baal Shem Tov teaches on the Pasuk that le'el le'mavayit v'orch nitzah b'shamayim Constantly, your word is in the heaven. That's the teich dover. That's the dover that's teich in the world. That's mislabish in the world. And lahov in dover mi teich dover. What's the dover that we understand from teich dover? We understand that there has to be a teich dover. There has to be a word from the Eibishter that's involved, that's enclosed in the world. From this, we realize the dover who had dibur atzmi shalamayim mislabish b'nivroim. Then there's a recognition in dover. What's the dover? That's the word of the Eibishter himself, which is higher than the way it closes himself in the creations. The Bechlol is Eira Seviv, which in general, this is the Eira Seviv. That means a Yid could understand that there's Eira Seviv exists, because he knows that there's a Teichlav, there's a way the Eibishter relates, creates, and relates. He's not being himself, he's relating to the world, he's relating to the world, what the world could handle. That's Eira Mamali, every world, every nivra according to what he is, the whole nivra Lufiyarkei. But then there's the Eibishter himself before he enclosed himself to the Nivraim according to what they could handle. That's the Havim Dover Mitei Dover that a Yid comes to recognition in Seivuk Klam. Shaydea is Benus Badvar Avayim Lubish B'Teicha Nivraim. When a person thinks into the Dvar Avayim which is enclosed in the Nivraim Teich Dover Shu'or B'Vad, this is only a ray. What's the raya? It's only a ray. Kedemuch Mizeh Guf Shu Melubish B'Teicha Nivraim. From the mere fact that it's enclosed in the Nivraim, the Esem can't be Melubish. Etzem is not shy to be mislabish in something else. The mere fact that it's relatable, if something else could handle it, means that it's only order levad, just like two people speak. What does he speak? What does he give over? He gives over order. This comes. The person recognizes this the dvaravai which is enclosed in the Nivroim, which is only order. By Miyidi, we come to recognition. We come to recognition that there has to be a thing, a davar, which is higher than being enclosed into the world. There's the Eibishter himself before he came to the world, before he related himself. There's relationship, and this is the way he is for himself, before he relates himself, before he relates to the world. That's the source. That's the source from where the Or Shebislabshas came. So this is all what a person could understand with his Bina Shebenefesh. So it's not so simple, the Bina Shebenefesh. What a person could understand is not just Mamale, he could also understand Seviv. Which is a Kav in the Rebbe Damar, a few Mamar that have mentioned this Indian, that the fact that a person could understand could know Seviv is not just Mitzad Amunah, it's also Mitzad Seichel. Seichel could also lead him to know that there has to be a Mitzis of Seviv. Why? Because the fact that the Eibishter relates to the worlds has to be there's his existence before he related to the world. That's the Dover, which is higher than the Teich Dover. That's what he says here. That's the Keshe Shem Havai. That's the Keshe Shem Havai, which is in the Nefesh. The Bina Sheba Nefesh, the understanding, the ability to understand the Yin of Sev Kalam.
From Mamali.
From Mamali, through Mamali, yes. Vov the Shem Havai, what's the Vov of Shem Havai? Mamidah Sheba Nefesh. That's the Midah Sheba Nefesh, that's the emotions, that's the Avaviyah that he has, that's the Vov, the 6 Midas. The Keach Rein Shem Havai, Yirit Tato, Kabbalah Sel Sheba Nefesh. What's the Keach Rein Shem Havai, the last Keach Shem Havai? That's Yirit Tato, it's Kabbalah Sel Sheba Nefesh, Kabbalah Sel. Mam Sheba Maimer, and continues in the Maimer, Shadal, this is Shem Havai, Shem Cholach Yisrael. These 4 letters of Shem Havai which exist in every Yid, like I said before, the Eibush is Meshat of Shmei. What's Pshat that is? So here is explaining what's Pshat. The Eibush put his name into every Yid, into the Neshama. And the Neshama, even when he's in the body, he could have all these 4 expressions of connection to Hashem. Not only that in the Nefesh, even though when he's in the body, he has his expression, he could feel the Eibush, he could understand the Eibush, he could have bittul to the Eibishter, he could have all these 4 levels, he could have more than that. In the body itself, there's also Shem Havai. Why? Shareish, the head of a person who could see it, Yud. That's like the picture of the letter Yud. Aguf, and the bodies could see it, Vav. It's like the picture of the letter Vav. The hey, it's boys Shabbayad, the hey, it's boys Shabbayad, and base hey. The 5 fingers in the hand, the 5 fingers in the foot are the 2 hays. And the Maimer adds, Yesh Leimar, Atam Sheyesh Tom Eser, it's boys B'yadayim, Eser, it's boys B'raglayim. Why is there 10 fingers in the hand, 10 fingers in the foot, or in the feet? Uki Hashem Havai b'milei hey, b'chol hey, Yesh Tom Shnei hey. Because Shem Havai, when you make Shem Havai with milei hey, you can write Shem Havai with milei alfin, make Shem milei hey, milei yudin. Hey, Yud Ke Vav Ke.
You can write many
Yud Ke Vav Ke. We have it in the Siddur in Paschal Yo. So you have over here. It says it's Mili Alpha. That's why it's Yud
Hey
Kei
Aleph.
Vav Kei. So the Hey is Hey Aleph, and the Vav is Vav Aleph Vav, and the Hey is Hey Aleph again. But when you write it, the Mile Heyin,
Just
that
three
the Hey
hays.
is Hey Hey, and the last Hey is also Hey Hey, then
So you have
it's
20 fingers.
So it's 20 fingers
Right.
together, altogether. Yeah. So he says, Shleimar. Yishlem da tam shesh me eser zboz mit daim eser zboz mit raglaymo ki b'shem avay b'mile hey im chol hey yeshem shtein. Every hey there's two hays. Yishlem says the Rebbe, I saw Psham Yisrael says boys connected hey b'miloi, and through the addition in the Maimer that the number 10 fingers is corresponding hey b'miloi mitays the beer b'chol sin and sir shemavay shebeguf. This adds explanation in the whole general concept of the shemavay being in the body. Why? It's known that the whole concept of a milui, when you have to say not the name, it's not the letter itself. You say the letter with its milui, with its how you spell it out, how you say it out. I mean, why is the milui hidden? For example, the letter alf. The alf itself is revealed. Hidden. Because the milui is the essence which is higher than being revealed. Gili is revelation. Yeah.
I learned that from you.
Very good. And he's saying like this, that the milui is what is the filling of the word, the filling of the letter. The letters that fill up the word of the letter are higher than being revealed. Just like a person says something, and he has an intention in it. He doesn't say the intention. He says what he says. And he has his intention hiddenly, he hides it. And now the Rebbe says, now we're going to understand. For this we understand this, what the Tzir Shem Havai, which is in the body Davke. You also have the Milehein of Shem Havai. Why Davke in the body you have the Milehein? Well, if you should baguf Davke mizgal agam apnimis va'atzpus Shem Havai. It's because Davke in the body is revealed also the essence of Shem Havai. More, in a way, more than in the neshama. That's Davke in the picture of Shem Havai in the body. You have the Milehein because the essence of Shem Havai is Davke over here. Why do you have this? In order that Shem Havai should be able to reach even the physical body, not just despite the body, but in the body. With Davka, the Apnim is the Atzim is the Shem Havai. This is through the essence of Shem Havai. Al derech we said before, but it's a little different. In order that Shem Havai, which is in the neshama, should be revealed even when it's enclosed in the body. Is through the Amshach of Anechi, which is higher than Havaya. Havaya is the Ibsh's name. You'd give up here. Yeah. So this is Al Derech that we said over there. In order that you be able to reach the body, although it's enclosed in the body, still should be able to be felt, is through the Amshach of Anechi, Kol Gavei Yese, Yed Lamati Yese. Mashenkin, over here we're saying it's through the essence of Shem Havaya itself. So the Rebbe says, what's a chiluk shemishnei yonim? What's the difference between these two concepts? Is shachid shbagil Shem Havai sheban neshama gam bislapshus beguf horak negel amrok gash b'sham nim shchagil. The chiddush, the novelty that we say that the revelation of Shem Havai comes, the revelation of Shem Havai of the neshama comes even when it's enclosed in the body, is only regarding to where it's revealed. So we say that how could it come, how could it be revealed even when it comes into the body? So we say, through that in Havaya comes a Nechi, which is higher than Havaya, so he could come even in a lower place. He could be revealed even in a lower place. That's regarding to the Gilu of Shem Havaya, even despite he's in the Guf. But the Chidush Batzir Shem Havaya Baguf, who b'Shem Havaya Atzmi. But the chiddush of the tzir of Shem Havai in the body, that it comes in the body itself, that's a chiddush in Shem Havai itself. It's not something external. Ki Shem Havai shalom aylam elam v'guf gashmim shnei afochim. The world, the Shem Havai and guf are two opposites. V'ochim b'chdei Shem Havai yitztaykev yochim tzir the guf gashmim in order that Shem Havai should be able to be nitztayr, to be formed in the form of the physical body, you can't do it by something that's higher than it, because the pale that wouldn't help, that it should be able to come into a body which is the opposite of it. Because what's the impact that happens to something when you have a higher power is only that he should come in a lower place, but it can't change it. He just stays who he is. But in order that Shem Havai should be able to formulate in the form of the physical body, that's only by revealing the essence of Shem Havai itself, the Milui Davaya, which means Shagam Havai Atmi B'Pnimi Yusei Eini Mugder Ba'Geder Aruchni B'Chol V'Nizgam Mitzir Gashmi. Even Havai itself, B'Pnimi is not defined in the definition of spirituality. It could be also in the figure of a physical body. Why? Because it doesn't have a definition. It doesn't have a description. That's the essence of Shem Havaya. Yemegal, the essence of Shem Havaya. In other words, Yemegal, the Atzmius. That's Shem Havaya itself is. Therefore, it doesn't have any limitations. If you would come with a neich which is higher than Havaya, then you wouldn't be able to bring Shem Havaya into the body, because Shem Havaya and the body are opposites. But when you megal the essence of Shem Havaya, then Shem Havaya itself shows that he's not limited. He has no limitations with cloud.
Yeah.